Welcome back to the dopest professional development on the internet. Be sure to track your progress in the sticker challenge. Think of it like earning another Beanie Baby for your PD shelf. Let's jump into the next session.
Hey there, teacher friend. Welcome and thank you for tuning in and listening to this talk all about setting your classroom up for success during the back-to-school season. I'm Rachel, your session host and the voice behind Uniquely Upper. My specialty is in creating grammar resources, but today I'm not here to talk about semicolons or prepositions or complex sentences. I'm here to talk about starting your school year with a little less chaos and a lot more calm. So, before talking about routines, let's talk about that first week of school, kind of a set the scene, if you will. This is the week that you probably forget to eat lunch, you may or may not lose your voice, and it may just be the week that you second guess your entire career path. It is a week that's filled with multiple checklists, tons of paperwork, and let's face it, some sleepless nights. But here's the thing, my friend, it does not have to be this way. If you can focus on just 3 simple routines, you can trade the chaos for calm. So what does that look like? Well, let's get into it. The first routine that I want to talk about is consistency and the importance of starting the day the same way every day. This routine is all about building predictability. Those first 10 to 20 minutes of your day should be automatic for you and for your students. One of the ways that you can implement consistency is by assigning morning work, doing a bell ringer, having students read quietly at their desk. It could be students working on activities from the day before. It does not have to be anything fancy. Consistency builds confidence. It gives students something to do the minute they walk in. It gives you a second to take attendance, to deal with morning chaos that may happen, or even just sip on your coffee while it's still warm. Having consistency sets the tone for learning from the second the bell rings. The second routine that I want to talk about is classroom management. I'm going to give you 3 words: rehearse, repeat, reinforce. I'm going to say that again. Rehearse, repeat, reinforce. I don't care how old your babies are, whether they're littles or olders. Start teaching your expectations on day 1. How do you want your students to line up? How do you want your students to walk in the hallway? How do you want them to turn in papers? How do you want them to take tests? Whatever your expectations are, they need to be modeled, they need to be repeated, and they need to be reinforced. Your expectations are going to be different from the teacher that they're coming from. They're also going to be different from the teacher that they're going to. So whatever you expect in your classroom, teach it, model it. I know you may be thinking that's a little bit of an overkill, but I promise you, your future self will thank you. Why this works? Why does it work implementing these rules and expectations from the very first day of school? First of all, you get what you teach. If you don't teach the routine, it's not going to happen. Repetition makes it automatic. You're not being mean, you're just being clear. Students thrive on structure. They need that structure in a classroom, and that's where your rules and expectations come in. The third routine that I want to talk about is all about building connections early and building connections intentionally. When you start off the school year working on building strong relationships with your students and creating a positive community within your classroom, it creates a magic that sets you up for success for the rest of the school year. And sometimes building those connections can be as simple as being willing to look past a file and into a student's heart. I want to tell you a story that changed how I would see students who walked into my classroom on that very first day of school. One of the most important lessons I learned in college and in my early years of teaching is that when a student steps into your classroom on day 1, they deserve a fresh start. Do not let another teacher's opinion determine how you respond to a student. So, I'm going to tell you about Bob. I once had a student, we're going to call him Bob, that's not his real name, but Bob had a reputation for being disrespectful, disruptive, and Bob had a potty mouth that would make a sailor blush. I had 2 choices starting off that school year. I can start off keeping this kid in a box that others had already placed him in, or I could give him a clean slate. And so the words of one of my professors echoed in my head. She said, "Every child deserves to be loved, no matter how they act. Sometimes your smile is the first smile they see that morning, and sometimes your smile is the last smile they see until they return to you the next day." She says, "You don't know their story, especially in the beginning of the school year. So it's really important to start off with that clean slate to give them an opportunity. With her words ringing in my head, I decided that we were going to give Bob a chance. One of the things that I would do the very first week of school is I would always meet with every student one-on-one. We would have a goals talk. It was my way of making that connection with them, talking to them, learning who they are beyond a questionnaire that they would fill out. It gave us an opportunity to connect. So I had met with a few students, and now it was time to meet with Bob. Bob walks over, pulls out a chair, sits down, slouched, and he looked at me with such disinterest. It was one of those now or never moments on whether I would actually have any kind of impact on this kid. So we talked, Bob talked, I listened, we laughed, and we set goals. At the end of that meeting with Bob, he walked away and he had a lighter step. And when I left my classroom that day, I did too. So fast forward to present moment, my daughter is in high school and she sees Bob at school often. And every time she sees him, he will ask her, "How's Miss D?" This kid made such an impact on my life because I allowed him the opportunity to prove to me that he was something other than what others had said he was. Now, I'm not saying our year was sunshines and rainbows because we did have moments, but there was a mutual respect between us. With that being said, what are some ways that you can start building connections within your classroom on day one? Greet your students at the door. It is a simple but powerful gesture that sets the tone for the rest of the day. Do quick morning check-ins. Think about those questions of the day. It gets your kids talking and sharing, and you get to see their personalities. Take time to learn their names, listen to their stories, and show them that you're paying attention, even in the chaos. Why does all of this work? It works because students are more likely to behave for teachers they feel connected to. You get to build a classroom culture where kindness is expected and modeled, and it turns your classroom into a place where your students feel seen, safe, and valued. You're not going to bond with every student overnight, but when you lead with curiosity instead of judgment, you change the story for them and for you. Let's do a recap. You don't need 1,000 Pinterest perfect ideas for that first week of school. You simply need a consistent routine to start the day, clear expectations practiced over and over, and small but powerful connection builders. If you want to steal these routines and make them your own, I have put together a free routine starter pack. It's full of things that I wished I had my first year teaching. It includes 5 tips for kickstarting your year, a back-to-school organization checklist, a procedure and expectation planner, a student questionnaire to help build relationships, and more. So, go grab it. If you have enjoyed this session and you're looking for more ways to connect with me, you can find me over on Instagram at Uniquely Upper, on my website, www.uniquelyupper.com, or send me an email and we can talk your first week routines. My email is uniquelyupper@gmail.com. I look forward to connecting with you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the sessions.
Another great session. Now it's time to apply for that scholarship. You'll find the link in the show notes, your email, and the Facebook group. And yes, scholarship winners will be revealed live on June 26th, so you better time out and go fill out that application now.